Alright guys, welcome back to another Fortnite video, and in this one, we're going to be having a ton of fun going over the top 10 rarest pickaxes that you can get in the game, or at least you could have gotten. So yeah guys, I haven't done a top 10 in a while, so I thought might as well switch it up. I've been trying to upload more videos lately, and this is just a fun one to do. I've got some unique ones, different from the pickaxes I think you guys will expect, but I've got some good reasoning to why they are rare and why you might want to get them if they ever show up in the future. So yeah guys, it is going to be a very fun video. Hit that like button down below if you do enjoy it. It always helps me out so much. I love seeing the support on the videos. You guys are seriously the best. And along with that, comment down below your favorite pickaxe as of right now. Doesn't have to be the rarest, just can be your favorite. Personally, I love like the party animal. That was one of my first ones that I ever got, and it's still one of my favorites. But yeah guys, without further ado here, let's jump on into it. And I do want to say that these are just my opinions of which ones are the rarest. There's no like official way to tell. And I did want to throw in some unique ones, but if you have different ideas of which ones should be where, be sure to just leave your comments down below. But yeah guys, starting it off here with actually a pretty unique one. I think it should be the pulse axe from season 2. Again, this is just the first one. It's nothing like super rare, but since it was a season 2 exclusive within the battle pass, it's still pretty rare. You're never going to be able to get it again, and unless you did buy the battle pass in season 2, which was like months ago, you wouldn't have had access to it. But either way, it is a pretty cool pickaxe. I always called it the toothpick because it just feels super long in your hands and like when you're swinging at stuff. But I mean, it does have a cool sound. It has a cool look to it. It can go with a variety of different skins, and overall it's not that bad of a pickaxe. I'm fully behind this one. I'm a big fan of it, and actually I might have to start using it again. Now after that though, this is one that I think is pretty unique in that I don't think a ton of you guys have ever thought about in terms of it being rare, and that's why I love throwing these curveballs at you. But the Spiky pickaxe, that is right guys, did you expect that one? I don't think so. But the Spiky pickaxe, I don't know if it's been in the shop lately. It probably has. I mean, I haven't really taken note of it, but that's kind of the reason that it is rare. It's basically the normal pickaxe, but with a few spikes on it, so nobody's really going to buy it, but that in turn makes it super rare. I mean, just take a look at this thing. Would you really want to buy it besides it being sort of a rare pickaxe? I don't even know if the sounds are that different. It's literally like the exact same shape as the normal one. And on top of that guys, it's not even the cheapest variety of pickaxe. I mean, you do have some of the other ones that are pretty similar, but those are all like green rarity, and those are 500 V-Bucks. This one on the other hand is 800 V-Bucks when it comes into the shop, which being that it's more expensive, it just doesn't really make sense to buy. So yeah, I can't show you any gameplay of this one, but either way, it is pretty rare, and for those of you who have that, that's kind of cool. But now I am curious to see like what exactly it sounds like, and if it does sound exactly like the default one. But then getting into it with number 8, this is another pretty unique one, but it is the one from the first ever Twitch pack, the Instigator. Now why is this one rare? Well, I'll explain that in just a sec here, but the Instigator pickaxe itself is honestly a pretty cool one. It's got a little bit of red with it, got a little bit of black. Can go with a bunch of different skins. In fact, I should probably be using it with like my Black Knight because that would fit perfectly with the colors on it. I don't know why I've never thought to do that, but I mean, it is pretty basic overall. It's nothing too crazy, doesn't have like any crazy sounds, and sounds fairly basic when you compare it to other pickaxes. But I mean, it is pretty rare because it was part of the first ever Twitch pack, which means that you can't get it ever again if you don't already have it. Now I don't remember exactly how long ago it stopped being available, but we do know that the second Twitch pack came out, which I think you can still get, but it was at least a few months ago, and since you did have to go through the work of getting a Twitch Prime account, not everybody got it. A decent amount of people did get it, but again, you're not able to get it anymore, so it is rare for a bunch of the new players coming into the game. And I mean, again, it is pretty cool as you can see here as I'm just breaking some random stuff with it. But keeping it going here with number 7, this one is another pretty rare one because it does have to do with the season 2 battle pass. Now which one am I talking about here? Well, I am talking about the one that's sort of the counterpart to the one that came out in the shop for the Red Knight, and it is the Excalibur. So as you can see here, if you haven't seen the Excalibur, once more, it is from the season 2 battle pass, which was months ago, which makes it rare just because you're never going to be able to get it again, and you haven't been able to get it for like a very long time already. But the Excalibur itself was part of the Squire set, or Blue Squire set. I think it was technically for the Blue Squire and not like the Black Knight or the Red Knight. You could use it with them. They were technically part of the same set. I forget what it's called exactly, but overall it is a pretty unique pickaxe. It's got some cool sounds with it. I know it's sort of hard to hear in this video, but even the shape of it as well is pretty cool. There's really nothing else like it besides the one that did come into the shop recently for the Red Knight. You have to admit it is a pretty unique one, pretty dope overall. But now we're getting into the super interesting ones, the super rare ones, because we are about halfway through, and this one just had to be the bottom feeder, which I know is one that is pretty out there, one that not a ton of people have thought of as rare. But come on guys, just look at the facts of this one. There's really nobody out there that has this pickaxe for the sole reason of it being an epic rarity and 1,500 V-Bucks for this one. That's right guys, it still comes into the shop. It was in the shop a little bit ago, like last week even, but it's 1,500 V-Bucks and it's just not that really worth it for 1,500 V-Bucks. So with that being said, it is in turn super rare. You can't deny that a ton of people have passed over this, and if you do have it, I mean, it is pretty unique. It is pretty decent. It's got a sort of cool sound to it that's sort of like chains moving around a little bit, but is it really worth 1,500 V-Bucks? I don't really know. I could see this one being maybe 800 V-Bucks, but almost twice of that. Yeah, when it comes back into the shop, I'm not going to be buying it, but once more, it is one of the rarest pickaxes in the game by far. But getting into some of the super rare ones now, you have the you shouldn't have, which definitely had to be on this list, and I wasn't sure. This one could have maybe been higher. I don't know. I don't really know how many people got it. Overall, it was pretty cheap. I believe it was around 500 V-Bucks, maybe 800, but I'm pretty sure it was around 500. But still, what makes it rare is that back then when it came out around Christmas time, and it hasn't come out since, I'm pretty sure, but when it came out, people didn't spend their V-Bucks very much. And when they did, they usually spent them on skins and stuff, and this wasn't that crazy of a pickaxe, so not a ton of people have it. Still, it's not the rarest skin in the game, but overall, it is actually kind of a cool one. It's pretty unique. It has, you know, the bow on it, the wrapping paper. It's a pretty interesting looking one. But I mean, if this one came back for 500, it's got to be one of the best ones for 500 V-Bucks. That is for sure. I would buy this one for 500 V-Bucks, and I'm a little bit regretting that I didn't get it back when it was super OG. But speaking of OG pickaxes, with number 4 on this list, which maybe could have been higher, again, these last ones were tough. I'm not 100% sure if I would switch them around, but either way, number 4, the AC/DC pickaxe. That is right, guys, the rarest pickaxe from Season 2 that required you to get to tier 63 in order to unlock it, and I really haven't seen anybody else with it. I mean, occasionally you do see Black Knights here and there, so they obviously have to have the pickaxe because that comes after tier 63, but still, since it was a Season 2 exclusive, and since it was fairly high at tier 63, if you guys don't remember, basically in Season 2, you had to be playing like every single day doing daily challenges instead of weekly challenges, which weren't in that season, in order to get new tiers. So a lot of people didn't get that high into the battle pass, so a lot of people did miss out on this pickaxe, especially also if they didn't start right at the beginning of the season like we did. But yeah, it is one of my favorite pickaxes. It's one of the only like almost entirely animated ones. I mean, I'm sure you guys have seen it, but it's a pretty cool one to use. It's very unique, and I'm happy that I have it in my collection. Now after that, then for number 3, this one I know might be a tough one, but hear me out. Hear the first two first. At number 3, I decided to put the Reaper. I know this one could have been higher. Could have maybe been at number 2. I don't think it could have been at number 1 quite, because it's not quite as rare. You'll see in just a sec, but I just had to put the Reaper at number 3. It is one of the rarest ones. It's one of the first pickaxes to come into the shop, but since it was one of the first pickaxes and it overall wasn't that expensive, I think it was 800 V-Bucks. It was 800 V-Bucks, so it wasn't that much, and it was a pretty unique one. I think a couple of others maybe came with it, but the Reaper, the Scythe, whatever you want to call it, was one of the most unique ones to come in. So a lot of people did buy it at the time if they did want to spend V-Bucks, and V-Bucks were new, but still, since it was way back in like last Halloween, there's no doubting that it is one of the rarest skins of the game. I mean, I would get this one. It's got a very cool sound. I don't know if I'm really behind the look of it, but I do think the sound is really dope. And you know what? It does look cool all around. I would definitely pick this one up if I had the chance to. But as for number 2, the one that beat out the Reaper by just a little bit, and honestly, these ones could switch places. They're super close together in terms of rarity, but I'm talking about the Candy Axe. Now, hear me out here. This is why I think the Candy Axe is a little bit, tiny bit more rare than the Reaper, but keep in mind that the Candy Axe was 1,500 V-Bucks, as opposed to the Reaper, which was only 800. That is almost twice as much, so it would make sense that even though the Reaper was more towards the beginning of Fortnite, there was obviously a difference in players between then and like when Christmas came around, but since Christmas and the Christmas items are fairly close to Halloween anyways, that's not that huge of a difference, but twice the amount of V-Bucks definitely is a huge difference. And with this Candy Axe, it hasn't come back since. I mean, the Candy Axe is a super dope one. It's got a little bit of animation to it, a little bit of special effects and stuff like that, and honestly, I wish I had this one as well. It's such a dope one. If it ever comes back for whatever reason, I'm buying it for sure. But yeah, I just think it is slightly more rare than the Reaper. However, it's not quite as rare as number 1, which it wasn't even a question, okay? This one had to be number 1 because it was one of the very first pickaxes ever. The one that came in the Season 1 shop, the Raiders Revenge. This one right here. So this thing just has everything going for it to make it the rarest pickaxe in the game. Because if you don't remember, back in Season 1, you actually had to level up in order to unlock things in the Season shop. And not even unlock them, but just unlock the ability to buy them with V-Bucks. That's just crazy to me. And the Raiders Revenge was 1,500 V-Bucks, which is super expensive for a pickaxe. I think probably the highest. And then on top of that, it wasn't that crazy of a pickaxe. It was just like a fireman's axe with some like barbed wire on it and like a pickaxe head. It honestly wasn't that crazy, so practically nobody has this one. And since it was apparently a Season 1 exclusive, it's more than likely never ever coming back. So yeah, guys, I've never seen this in game. I've never really seen anybody use it. So there is no doubt that it is the rarest pickaxe in the game for sure. But other than that, guys, that is going to be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, be sure to subscribe for more fun videos like this coming up in the near future. Along with that, you can check out some of my previous videos such as 7 tips to get full level drift and Ragnarok faster. And then on the right, the week 4 challenges guide. But other than that, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video and I will see you in the next one.